I grew up in a family, in an environment. I come from a cultural background that that cultural perception was seeing the wheel, the headscarf, as something totally backward, anti-modern, religious, Eastern, and inferior. All these codes were sort of symbolized in that piece of cloth. All right, this is the social background I come from. So I grew up, internalizing these sort of information. But after a while, I started to, understand that's really superficial. Something cannot be that negative. All the negative aspects about, certain things cannot be, just targeted to one piece of clothing. But, my automatic reaction, or let's say my default, feeling or reaction when I see a veiled woman is that, she's not like me. I don't share a sort of we-ness with this individual. So, I mean, I can't help it, but, my pattern is that, that's not really somebody that I would like to, have a, close and good relationship with. Maybe I should. Then, of course, you learn to be polite and, politically correct and everything. But after you, get into, politics or, studying political science or that sort of stuff, and after you start educating yourself, you start to see things from various different points, and even though I come from a very negative perception background, right now when I look at a veiled woman, when I see veiling women, I usually feel sympathy, and because I can imagine and I can see how hard it is for them to be that way. All right, they have a very, very tough and demanding life. Here is the assumption for my first, pattern of processing a veiled woman. She is veiled because she is not educated. She is not from an urban background. She is from a rural, area. She doesn't have a good education. Probably she is a villager or, from the, lower levels of society, and she is religious, and religion is something bad, negatively coded. Religion was the reason why Turkey is in its position right now. This sort of very prejudiced, very stereotyped coding. When you start to learn about their ways of living, their actual more realistic background, you start to see that you were very, prejudiced. You were very, biased. These were the stereotypes. Not all of them, obviously, are uneducated, rural backgrounded, or ignorant, or stupid, or fundamentalists, or very, blindly religious people. They have their own mindset, their mentality. They believe in things because they believe in certain values, religious values, because they believe in the stuff that they adopted, and they have their own lifestyles according to that. And you start at that moment, you start to respect them. You start to understand that they were always discriminated. They were always seen as inferior, even though they were not necessarily like that. But they have been the subject of such a perception. So I mean, you start to feel this sympathy, and you start to feel the sort of guilt that you were just prejudiced and.